Ever been told to just be yourself and follow your passion, but also work hard and sacrifice for success? What if I told you there's a 5,000-year-old answer that makes both true at the same time? It's called the cosmic engine. And once you see it, productivity advice will never confuse you again. Episode 6 of the Bhagavad Gita series. Quick context. Krishna just revealed you're not your body. Act without attachment. But wait, if you're supposed to transcend ego, why act at all? This paradox stops everyone on the spiritual path. Today, Krishna cracks it wide open. New here? Jump in now. Or start with episode 1. Link in description. Arjuna had been listening carefully. Maybe too carefully. Krishna had just spent verses praising the steady-minded sage, the person of wisdom who has transcended all action. But then, in the same breath, Krishna was telling Arjuna to fight, to act, to engage in the bloodiest action imaginable. Something didn't add up. Krishna, you're confusing me. If you believe that wisdom is superior to action, then why are you urging me into this terrible act of war? Your words seem contradictory. Please, tell me clearly, which one path should I follow? The path of knowledge or the path of action? Give me one answer that will lead me to the highest good. This is the question that stops everyone on the spiritual path. If enlightenment is about transcending the ego, why act at all? If wisdom is the goal, why not just meditate and renounce everything? Krishna's smile showed he knew this confusion intimately. Because he's about to reveal something most people never understand. Long ago, I taught humanity two paths, Arjuna. For those of contemplative nature, the path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga. For those of active nature, the path of selfless action, Karma Yoga. But listen carefully, these are not two different destinations. They're two different roads to the same summit. And here's what you must understand. No one can remain inactive even for a moment. Try this right now. Try to do absolutely nothing. Not just physically. Stop all mental activity too. Can't do it, can you? Even sitting perfectly still. Your mind is planning, remembering, judging, wanting, fearing. This is Krishna's point. Inaction is impossible. Even a corpse is decaying, which is a form of action. Everyone is compelled to act by their own nature, Arjuna. The qualities born of Prakriti, your conditioning, your tendencies, your genes, your upbringing, they force you to act whether you want to or not. The person who controls their organs of action but continues dwelling on sense objects in their mind, they're a hypocrite, deceiving themselves. You're on a diet, eating salad, but your mind is devouring pizza. You're meditating, eyes closed, but your thoughts are scrolling Instagram. You're renouncing, but you're still craving. This is what Krishna calls hypocrisy. True renunciation isn't about controlling actions, it's about transforming the mind itself. Therefore, Arjuna, one who controls the senses through the mind and engages in Karma Yoga with the organs of action without attachment, such a person excels. Perform your prescribed duty. Action is indeed superior to inaction. Even the maintenance of your body cannot be accomplished through inaction. This world is bound by action, except when action is done as sacrifice. Here's the secret. The universe runs on sacrifice. The sun sacrifices its energy to create light. Plants sacrifice themselves to feed animals. Rain sacrifices itself to nourish the earth. Parents sacrifice sleep to feed children. Your body sacrifices yesterday's food to create today's energy. Everything in existence is giving itself for something else. This isn't philosophy, this is physics. This is how reality works. When you work for a paycheck, you're trapped. When you work as an offering to the universe, you're free. Same action, completely different consciousness. The doctor who heals for money versus the doctor who heals as service to life. The teacher who teaches for a salary versus the teacher who teaches as worship of knowledge. Can you feel the difference? Here's the original design spec for humanity. According to the Gita, you were made to give. Not made to get and occasionally give back. Made to give is your core function. The universe gives to you, oxygen, water, food, sunlight. You give back through your actions. This mutual exchange, the Gita calls it Yajna, sacrifice. Break this exchange, and you're not just being selfish, you're being a thief. You're taking from a system you refuse to feed. This isn't mythology. This is ecology. Rain comes from clouds. Clouds come from evaporation. Evaporation comes from heat. Heat comes from the sun. The sun is powered by fusion. And fusion, that's the universe sacrificing hydrogen to create helium. Everything feeds everything else. Break the cycle anywhere, and the whole system collapses. You breathe oxygen created by trees, but do you plant any? You drink water from rivers, but do you protect them? You consume food from the earth, but do you give anything back? Krishna's calling this theft. Not because some god is keeping score, but because you're breaking the cosmic engine that keeps everything alive, including you. From food, beings are born. From rain, food is produced. From sacrifice, rain comes into being. Know that sacrifice arises from action, and action arises from Brahman, the imperishable. Thus, the all-pervading Brahman is always present in sacrifice. The one who does not follow this wheel, that is thus set in motion, lives in vain, Arjuna. They live only to indulge the senses. Imagine a wheel that's been turning since the beginning of time. Every atom in your body has been part of 1,000 other forms before you. In ancient language, Yajna, cosmic sacrifice. In modern language, the iron in your blood was forged in a dying star. Same wheel, different words. You're not consuming the wheel. You are the wheel, temporarily taking human form. And the wheel has one question for you. Are you going to turn it forward or clog it up? But for one who rejoices only in the self, who is satisfied in the self, who is content in the self alone, for such a person, there is nothing that needs to be done. They have no purpose to fulfill through action, nor any purpose in avoiding action. They do not depend on any being for anything, yet even they must act. This is the paradox that confuses everyone. The enlightened person has nothing to gain from action, yet they act. Not because they have to, but because action is the nature of existence itself. They act like the sun shines, not for reward, not for purpose, but because that's what a sun does. That's what a human does. Your boss emails at 11 p.m. Old you, resentment, suffering, story about disrespect, new you, turn the wheel, same action, you respond or don't, zero suffering. That's the difference. The awakened person still goes to work, still pays bills, still cooks dinner, but they're not doing it to become complete. They already are complete. They're not acting to get somewhere. They're already here. Same actions as everyone else, but coming from a completely different source, not from lack, but from fullness. Look at King Janaka. He ruled an entire kingdom, made war decisions, judged criminals, expanded territories, lost loved ones. Every day brought impossible choices. But he performed each duty without clinging to the outcome. When his kingdom prospered, he didn't take credit. When tragedy struck, he didn't collapse. He turned the wheel forward, never stopping it. That's how he attained perfection, not by escaping action, but by acting without attachment. And here's the truth. Whatever a great person does, others follow. Whatever standard you set, the world pursues. You think your actions only affect you? Look closer. Your children are watching how you handle stress. Your team is watching how you treat failure. Your friends are watching how you deal with loss. You're setting standards whether you know it or not. The question is, what standard are you setting? Are you teaching fear or courage, avoidance or engagement? For me, Arjuna, there is nothing in the three worlds that needs to be done, nothing to be obtained that has not been obtained. Yet I engage in action. If I did not engage in action tirelessly, people everywhere would follow my example. If I did not perform action, these worlds would perish. I would be the cause of confusion of castes and would destroy these people. Think about what Krishna just revealed. He is the source of everything, yet he acts. He has nothing to gain, yet he maintains the universe. not because he's compelled, but because action is love made visible. The sun doesn't shine because it wants to. It shines because that's what love does when it takes the form of a star. As the ignorant act with attachment, Arjuna, so should the wise act without attachment, desiring to maintain the world order. The wise should not unsettle the minds of the ignorant who are attached to action. Instead, while performing all actions in a disciplined manner, they should inspire others to act. All actions are performed by the gunas of nature, but one deluded by ego thinks, "I am the doer." Your heart is beating right now. Are you doing that? Your cells are dividing, your food is digesting, your wounds are healing. Are you doing any of it? The breath breathes itself. Thoughts think themselves. Even your sense of control is arising on its own. The universe is doing everything, and it's doing it through the form you call me. You're not the doer. You're the space in which doing happens. The sun had fully risen over Kurukshetra now. 200,000 warriors stood ready. The greatest war in history was about to begin. But in that chariot a greater war had been won. Not the war against enemies. Not even the war against ignorance. But the war against the illusion that you are separate from the cosmic engine. The war against thinking you can opt out of existence itself. So here you are, your own battlefield, your own Krishna, asking, will you act? Not because you'll get something from it, not because you have to prove something, but because action is what existence does through the form called human. You can act from ego, which creates suffering, or you can act as an offering, which creates freedom. The work will get done either way. The question is, will you be a slave to it or an expression of it? This is the engine that runs the world. Not blind mechanical action, not selfish grasping, but conscious participation in the cosmic sacrifice. Giving yourself to the work not because you're small, but because you're vast. Acting not to become whole, but as an expression of the wholeness you already are. This is Karma Yoga. This is the secret. This is how the enlightened live in the world while being free of it. Recap. You just learned about the cosmic engine. The universe runs on selfless action. Not action for reward, but action as worship. You're already part of this engine. Your choice is whether to flow with it or fight against it. Fighting creates suffering. Flowing creates freedom. Episode 7. The War Inside. Why can't you hold on to peace? Why does meditation work until someone cuts you off in traffic? Next episode reveals the internal war between your senses and your soul, and why spiritual progress feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. If you're binge watching this series, welcome. If you're new, hit subscribe. This is Season 1 to 18 episodes covering all 18 chapters. Full series, 4 seasons, 72 episodes total. Now do this. Tomorrow, pick 1 task you hate. Could be dishes, emails, commute, whatever. Do it as an offering, not an obligation. Notice what shifts. Then come back and tell us in the comments what happened. That's your assignment.